Today on the CTV News at 5, police lay murder charges after a 47-year-old man's body is discovered in a South Lethbridge home. Plus, joggers find an injured man in the city's coulees. And full house.
To be able not only to host, but also from an economic standpoint for the community, whether it's hotels, restaurants, small businesses, I think it's great for everybody.
How the summer games and golf tournament are making it impossible to find a room.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Lethbridge Regional Police have charged 2 men with second-degree murder after a fatal fight. The body of 47-year-old Michael Powell was found yesterday morning in this South Side home on 7th Avenue South. Police say Powell and 2 acquaintances were visiting the home when they got into a dispute which turned deadly. Powell was assaulted and stayed in the home while the acquaintances left. Powell's body was discovered the next morning. Police arrested 2 men a short time later. 25-year-old Kelsey Prairie Chicken and 27-year-old Brandon Brown appeared in court this morning. An autopsy is scheduled in Calgary.
Very much a targeted occurrence. All persons involved knew each other. It involved a great deal of violence, involving personal violence between these 2 subjects on this lone victim. Safe to say that he was defenseless. It was very much an aggravated factor that 2 people took great advantage of 1 person, incurring significant enough injuries to cause his death.
And police say there were no weapons involved. The 2 accused will be back before the courts on August the 1st. And Lethbridge police are also investigating after a man was found injured in the coulees this morning. A group of joggers running along the Coalbanks Trail off Scenic Drive and 4th Street South came across the man around 6:30. Police say the 25-year-old was suffering from serious head injuries. He was taken to hospital, and officers are still waiting to interview him. Search and rescue and Lethbridge police have spent the day searching the area for any information that may help them determine what happened.
So we believe we actually have the crime scene where the injured person was found. We believe to be the only crime scene outstanding. So now we have the area search and rescue team down there with different professionals in the area of field search, and now we're just liaising with the hospitals, hoping to get an opportunity to speak with this young victim as soon as can.
Police are trying to piece together the victim's whereabouts and activities before the incident, as well as the circumstances of the assault itself. And they're asking anyone with information to contact either them or Crime Stoppers. A Lethbridge senior charged in relation to the death of a pedestrian will have to pay a fine. In January, police say a vehicle turned left on 13th Street North and then hit a 64-year-old woman who was in a crosswalk. 74-year-old Clinton Shambrook was charged with failing to yield to a pedestrian. He pleaded guilty to the charge in court and was handed a $2,000 fine. The judge in the case decided not to suspend Shambrook's license because he drives truck for a living and that would hurt his livelihood. Meanwhile, a Florida man caught at the Coots border crossing with a huge cache of weapons has pleaded guilty. In February, border guards found 75 firearms, including 48 handguns, a blowgun, a pistol, a crossbow, and 23 high-capacity magazines in the man's pickup truck. It's the largest handgun seizure ever at the Coots crossing. Today, 54-year-old George Foster pleaded guilty to a number of charges, including illegal importation and careless storage of firearms, smuggling illegal ammunition, as well as giving a false statement to customs officers. His lawyers told the court that Foster didn't think it was important to declare the guns when he entered Canada. He was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison and is banned from owning or possessing any firearm for 10 years. A judge has found a Medicine Hat chiropractor guilty of sexual assault. Gary Borden was charged last June after one of his clients filed a complaint with police. During last month's trial, the woman testified that she saw Borden expose himself and touch himself during her treatment. Borden reported the incident to the Alberta College and Association of Chiropractors. He's been allowed to continue to practice under the condition there be a woman chaperone present while he works on female patients. Borden will be sentenced on October the 18th. A missing girl from Hope, BC may be on her way to Lethbridge. 16-year-old Jessica Janice Weber was last seen at her home on July the 8th, and RCMP believes she traveled to Alberta by hitching rides along the way with truck drivers. She has friends and family in both Hay River and Lethbridge. However, there is no indication she's been to either city. She did call a friend on Tuesday and say she was in Alberta, so police are asking you to be on the lookout. She's described as 5'4", 96 pounds, with brown shoulder-length hair and brown eyes. A well-known Lethbridge businessman is dead after a kayaking accident in Montana. James Wilson owned Scissor Hands Tree Care in the city. He also taught tennis and was a local fixture on the ski hills. On Tuesday, Wilson was kayaking with friends on the Flathead River when he got hung up on the Spruce Park Rapids. His boat capsized and he was held underwater by the force of the river and drowned. The local sheriff's department says Wilson was wearing a life jacket. Alcohol wasn't a factor. They say the drowning was a very unfortunate accident. Well, a Lethbridge resident is among 3 new assistant chief judges to be approved to the provincial bench. Judge Jerry Lagrandeur will replace Judge Eric Peterson in September, and there is 1 chief judge in Alberta and 9 assistant chief judges. Lagrandeur's appointment is a 5-year term. Alberta Mounties have a new tactical vehicle. The armored truck can be used for hostage takings, armed standoffs, and search and rescue operations. The new vehicle has gun ports, sentry hatches, a fire detection and suppression system, as well as infrared night lighting. It can carry a full emergency response team, plus hundreds of kilograms of equipment. The RCMP has bought 18 of them. There will be 3 here in Alberta. The RCMP was urged to get armored tactical vehicles after the murders of 4 officers near Marathorpe in 2005. Well, expect some detours and delays if you're heading east of Pincher Creek anytime soon. Highway construction is now underway and it should last for up to 2 months. Crews are working to replace the culvert that carries Highway 6 over Kettles Creek. Work is expected to be done by early October. That's weather permitting. And the alleged driver in an infamous motorcycle speeding video has been caught. This YouTube video shows a bike hitting 300 kilometers an hour on a Vancouver Island highway. Police laid charges a couple of weeks ago, but have only now arrested a suspect. 25-year-old Randy Scott is facing a single count of dangerous operation of a motor vehicle. Dory Rossiter, we've got some average temperatures on the way, and that's nice for the kickoff to the Medicine Hat Stampede.
Absolutely. There's so many events that are happening in the next few days. The skies are starting to clear out nicely. We've got some sunshine on tap, and we've got warm temperatures ahead. So, yeah, it's looking pretty good here in southern Alberta. Parts of the rest of the country are interesting, and I'll give you some details coming up in a couple of minutes.
You know, when a weather person says interesting weather, it'll be good. Thanks, Dory. Well, if you or anyone you know is hoping to reserve a hotel room in Lethbridge this weekend, you could be out of luck. Most hotels, motels, and campgrounds have been booked for months in anticipation of the Alberta Summer Games. Kayla Carr reports.
Grab the deck! Salute your captain!
Rehearsals for the opening ceremonies of the Alberta Summer Games are underway. Thursday night, thousands of athletes, their parents, and community supporters will pile into the NMAX Centre to kick off the event.
So opening ceremonies is a big event. We have music and we have performers and we've got a parade of athletes very similar to what you would see at an Olympic event.
The 4-day event will feature about 2,500 athletes from across the province. Most of them are being put up at the Lethbridge College and Chinook High School. But anyone traveling to the city to watch the games has to find their own place to stay.
We're looking really, really strong for the weekend. Sold out actually Thursday, Friday and Saturday night.
It's good news for many local hotels.
Right down the hall, first one.
Holiday Inn Lethbridge, Megan speaking. No, sorry, we're all booked up.
The Holiday Inn has been booked solid for months.
I think that's always wonderful that those things come to the city. It's great for us to have those type of events happen in Lethbridge, to be able not only to host, but also from an economic standpoint for the community, whether it's hotels, restaurants, small businesses. I think it's great for everybody.
Organizers say the games will have a significant economic impact on the city. They estimate about $4.5 million.
but more importantly, we're bringing all these people. What's neat about these games is there's athletes from every zone in Alberta, so you have representatives from all the way across Alberta. So it's not just Calgary or Edmonton, it's everywhere. And these are people that are coming to Lethbridge, some of them for the first time, and they'll see what a great city it is and how much stuff there is to do. So I think that long-term benefit is huge as well.
Kayla Carr, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And if you're still in need of a place to stay this weekend, the University of Lethbridge is renting some of their residence rooms out. There's also first-come, first-served camping spots available at Park Lake. The Alberta Summer Games isn't the only big event in the city this weekend. The Canadian Women's Amateur Golf Championships are being held at the Lethbridge Country Club, too. The Henderson Lake Campground is closing, a decision that's being met with both surprise and anger by its permanent residents. City officials have told staff and residents that they must relocate by December 1st. Long-term residents we spoke to say they're shocked by the move because they say the land was donated to the city for use as a campground, provided it never was rezoned. The company who leases the campground says they've submitted proposals to upgrade the facility but received no reply.
I think it's really disappointing, and not being told about it until the last minute is another issue. And there's people that have lived here for 18 years. I'm a new resident here, and to find out that we have to relocate before winter is kind of upsetting.
Here they tell you they're going to close it and everything is turned upside down. And for us to rent apartment, we can't afford it.
Residents say they plan to fight to keep their campground open. Landscape construction is about to get underway on a new cemetery in Lethbridge. City officials broke ground on the Royal View Cemetery near Pavan Park in May. Council has awarded the $1.4 million construction tender to Bosscapes Incorporated from Coaldale. They were the only company to return the big package. Bosscapes will be responsible for entry signage and lighting, irrigation and maintenance, and seeding and planting, as well as grading. Work is scheduled to be complete by the end of November. An information session will be held tonight in Fort Macleod to discuss the number of wind turbines going up around southern Alberta. The Willow Creek Wind Action Group says that they are worried the turbines are dangerous when in close proximity to homes, roadways, and bodies of water. The session gets underway 7 o'clock tonight at the Fort Macleod Community Hall. And we are now getting a look at the hardware that will be handed out during the 2012 games. Around 2,100 medals will be presented to athletes over the next couple of weeks. The front of the medals depicts the Greek goddess of victory. The back features a 2012 emblem. The sport and discipline of the winners will be engraved on each medal. And if you haven't heard yet, the Olympics are coming here to CTV. That means a temporary move in our newscast. Starting Friday, you'll be able to join us for all of your local news, weather and sports at 6:30, and you can still catch us online through our CTV Lethbridge Facebook page or on Twitter. We will return to our normal time after the Olympic Games. And time now to check out how the markets fared today.